Hello again, everybody. I'm Mike Gorman, along with Brian Scalabrine.
Scal, how you doing?
Life is good.
Yeah, you look good after the challenge. No injuries.
No black eyes.
You're ready to go?
No
Not a problem?
No surgeries. I'm good.
How do you coach this team right now, Donnie?
Scal? Well, effort's a funny thing, as Eddie Curry once said. Sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't.
He was in his ear. He said, listen, you can be wrong. You can be wrong. Just admit it. You're wrong. It's okay. It's okay. And he got him.
I mean, there's so many moving parts to a trade. You can't just throw those things out there. There's like, what would the Celtics do as far as a point guard if they had Josh Smith? Does it help their shooting woes with Josh Smith? Does Atlanta even want Rajon Rondo if they have to give up Josh Smith? What kind of team would they have? Would Rondo play down in Atlanta without his buddy Josh Smith? I mean, there's so many things that go into that. I don't know if you can just throw those things out there.
Watch Pierce rub his man off Garnett. Garnett takes that little side step. No help underneath once again. There should be a guy in the paint at that point. He's called a tag man. When a guy cuts to the basket, you got to come over and show, like, once again, the illusion that you're there so Garnett doesn't make that pass.
Usually these games between the Celtics and Lakers come down to the final possession or two, but not so. A couple of weeks ago, the Celtics blew them out. How'd they do it, Brian?
They did it by attacking the Lakers' terrible pick-and-roll defense, by passing the ball. They had 25 assists, and they just straight up isolated, got to the basket, and there's nothing at the rim. The Celtics played such good team basketball by running the floor, attacking the basket. They were great in this game. Hopefully they can do the same tonight.
He's allergic to the paint.
It doesn't matter.
He's breaking out the eyes.
Shoot it. I mean, I tweeted the other day, at Scalabrine, by the way, that he is the best shooter I've ever played with. And people are like, what about Ray Allen? And Ray Allen is a great shooter. But like when Kyle has a bad day in shooting, he shoots 95 out of 100. He'll make 100 out of 100 shots. 3-pointers.
He's been aggressive from the start of the game. He missed his first couple shots, but then he's got it going. Little flare screen to the three. Jason Terry with the steal, out to Pierce. Another three. Comes off the pick and roll. There's another one. And these are all dropping down. Right there, Dwight Howard's too far back. Another three for Pierce. Feeling good tonight.
Just explain quickly what you mean by game plan discipline. Give me an example.
Well, if your guy's up top and he comes off a pick and roll, and your job is to show on that pick and roll, stop the guy from turning the corner, to do that consistently. There's going to be 80 pick and rolls in a game. You have to do that 80 times. You have to have game plan discipline. You have to be smart enough to know this is the play they're running, and you have to be smart enough to know to tell the guy, here comes a pick to your left. Then you also have to know, I'm going to show at a good angle.
Right here, Celtics on the shot. Solinger keeping the ball alive, keeping it alive, shoots it. Now watch, even if it came out, he would have been right there again. Celtics now lead Cleveland in rebounding thanks to Solinger. 7 rebounds in 8 minutes. One thing about Kobe that's so interesting is he beats you up when he's on offense. He gets into your body, he elbows you. When he goes up for a shoot, he'll always hit you and try to make a little bit of contact. The best players, that's what they do when they're playing.
This is not the 2008 team, and Doc he's reminded us a lot, Scal.
Well, I mean, at the beginning of the year in 2008, everyone asked the question, what bench does this team have? Who else do you have besides the big three? This team came in and they said, we're the deepest team in Celtics since 2008. We have so much more talent. And I actually agree with the statement. They do have more talent. I just don't think the talent fits.
Pierce again.
This is such classic Pierce. He's playing at such a smooth pace right now. What? Let me dribble back, look around, up, take this quick shot. Nothing but net.
Kyrie Irving is a special player.
Yeah, this guy could really play. He can score in all kinds of ways. He doesn't need a pick and roll. He can do it in isolation. But when he does run pick and roll, he can get all the way to the rim, and he can also pull up and knock down shots. It's going to be a joy to watch him and Rondo go at it. Kobe pushes his arm up and swims over the top just like that. That's illegal in the NBA. You can't do that. That's what we call a makeup call. Okay, folks at home, when we say that's a makeup call is when we made a bad call, we make it up by giving the Celtics a good whistle.
So, Scal, that's my guy in this game. What do you got for me?
Well, I think mine goes to defensively. They got to run Atlanta off the three-point line. They got to make it so these guys are driving the basketball and shooting contested two-point shots. Atlanta is a great passing team that knocks down shots, so I would try to make it 6 threes or less. If they can do that, I think they'll have a good chance of winning tonight's game.
Rondo right here, hustles back, steps up, takes the charge.
Sure did.
This is the big-time play. This helps you win basketball games. Rondo doing whatever it takes right now to get this win. Earl Clark goes up and misses it, gets it back, throws it up, and watch this quick follow. Boom. Once again, lined up. Elbow, follow through, leg. It looks crazy, but the fundamentals are always there.
You love that play by Harris at
Yeah,
the
I
end.
thought that was the difference in the game. He came off the curl, and it just seems like like the same thing when Garnett's not on the floor and he comes off the curl. There was no help. He got all the way to the basket, no resistance whatsoever.
In the past, when the Celtics had so much success against Dwight Howard, it was because you had Kendrick Perkins, Big Baby would go in there, Rasheed Wallace get thrown in there. Garnett would guard him extremely well, but about 4 to 5 minutes, and then when they would rotate one of the dogs, they would call it, and he would have to face that. Dwight Howard would have to face that every game. Now, with it all riding on Kevin Garnett, that's a lot to ask from him.
1-point game here at the half. Your thoughts on the first half?
Well, I think they got to shore up their pick and roll coverage with Kyrie Irving and Tristan Thompson, but I like the way they're playing offensively and Rondo getting to the paint and finding shooters. They can continue to do that, do a better job on the defensive end, they're going to get this game. Hard right-hand drive, Bass fouls him on the ground, takes 2 more steps, shoots it up and knocks it down. Theoretically, if you travel, it's supposed to be no shot.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the stars have to be stars, and they have to step up. I believe that they have spacing issues offensively. There's something that they have to address as this year is going on. It's hard for Pierce and Garnett to get what they need if Rondo's out there off the ball. But you put Rondo on the ball, he's creating shots for everybody else, but then those guys aren't getting the rhythm that they are necessarily used to. I think that with all that being said, though, this year has not worked out the way that they thought, and there are probably going to be some kind of personnel moves that need to be made.
Both those plays were initiated by Steve Nash, and the way that he can throw this ball. If Garnett doesn't rotate, Kobe's getting probably a layup or a dunk. But it forces the Celtics to be in rotation. All that is because of the pressure that Steve Nash puts on the Celtics with his ability to pass.
Were you surprised by Doc's remarks the other night? You go first.
Yeah, I was a little surprised. I think he was frustrated, and you can obviously see that, but Doc is usually the kind of guy that keeps things in-house, so for him to do that, he was really frustrated. Jameson's an example of a player, what I like to call an off-the-ball player, and I believe these guys are very important on good teams. Guys that don't need the ball in their hands, that can still be effective. You don't need to run plays for him. Knows how to space, knows how to get open, knows how to use his body to get open. Those are important things, especially when you have guys like Kobe who demand so much attention.
And Scal, something you said to me during this game was fatigue shows up in the second half. I think fatigue showed up for the Celtics in the second overtime. What do you think?
In the third quarter, they were outscored 21-2 starting the third quarter, so I thought fatigue set in the second half. But I think they battled hard in the first overtime, and in the second overtime, you know, Atlanta got it going.
Courtney Lee in transition. Takes a few steps.
Told you, he covered a lot of ground.
You did say that. I didn't see it from my angle, but he definitely covered a lot of ground. At 34 years old, this guy's still bringing it. Watch this play right here as he elevates and dunks on the Brooklyn Nets. Kobe Bryant is playing the game for his legacy. He brings it every night. He's playing to win. This guy's a special player. It should be a special night for him. Kobe had a relationship with Dr. Bus. He's done so much for the city. You want to make sure that you leave your mark on tonight's game. You win this game for him. That's the way that they think. And the Celtics got to come out and stay focused, not get involved in the emotional side of this game at all.